We're gathered here today to get through this thing called life.
Did you know Purple Rain was recorded live on the first take? Prince said, "Purple Rain symbolizes the end of the world and choosing love over chaos." The iconic guitar solo wasn't re-recorded. What you hear is a live take from First Avenue in Minneapolis.
You may have noticed that purple was a pretty popular color at inaugural events this week. Hillary Clinton wore it, Michelle Obama wore it, Kamala Harris wore it as she was being sworn in as VP, and Joe Biden wore it. Why? Onlookers are saying that the purple stands for unity, as it combines the colors red and blue.
Purple rain, purple rain. Purple rain, purple rain. Purple rain, purple rain.
Dreadful irony of Trump's second term is that after his first term, he wasn't considered the worst president ever. Like, don't get me wrong, he's certainly down there. He's certainly considered down there, but it's generally James Buchanan, the one before Abraham Lincoln, who's considered to be the worst US president ever. What I'm trying to say is that Trump's first term was definitely down there, but it wasn't the worst ever, right? But given that America is about to lose its economy, its cultural stability, and its superpower status, all in the space of like a year or two of Trump's second term, he is going to go down in history as the worst president ever by a supremely long way. Man whose entire personality is about being the absolute best at everything, the greatest ever, really, seriously, you guys, never done it this, going to be immortalized as the Nero who fiddled while America burned. Contrary to common sense, I hope he lives a long life. I hope he lives till he's 90. Because I want him to see the scholars come out and decide that he was the worst president ever. I want him to know that. But I can't stress this enough. He was not the worst during his first term. He was one of the worst, but he was not the worst. It's his second term that is going to make him, immortalize him as the worst ever in history, the very lowest of the low. Like, for someone who's all about winning, he could have spared himself being dead last if he had just left well enough alone and not run for another term. Follow for more.
It hasn't even been a year. It hasn't even been a fucking year. Patriot Games, aka the Hunger Games, the Epstein Files, war with Venezuela, Chinese tariffs and blatant government corruption and cover-ups. It's only been like 11 months. I'm not ready for the next 3 years, guys. Oh my fucking god, I'm not ready. I don't even know if I want to be ready. Will I ever be?
Some of those that work forces are the same that burn crosses. Some of those that work forces are the same that burn crosses. Some of those that work forces, you're the same that burn crosses.
Get out of the mall.
Good.
I don't want the violence that's coming, but I understand it's inevitable now. When the federal government can shoot you in the face as an American citizen, and before they even allow a doctor on the scene, they've already spun the narrative. Before the gun has stopped smoking, they've already told the tale. And the sad reality is there are many people who believe them, who experience a completely different version of reality, who can watch the video and say it was justified and righteous and she deserved what she got. One of the hard truths for an empath like me is that your tolerance has to end somewhere, and intolerance is the line. Your understanding and acceptance has to end where others are unwilling to understand and do not accept. This is not a threat It's not an incitement. It's not a provocation. It's a heartbreaking realization that these people will not stop until they are forced to.
Even Trump is admitting that he is afraid of being impeached again if the Republicans lose the midterms. What more proof do you need that it is a possibility that Trump himself is worried about it enough to express those concerns in public? They got Al Capone on tax evasion, they will get Donald Trump on something. The Republican Party's shameless abdication of their responsibilities have allowed Donald Trump to drag them into the territory of committing war crimes and violating international law. That is just the stuff that he has done this week that you could describe as impeachable. Republicans are predicted to eat thick, sticky doo-doo at the midterms. And Trump's control over the Republican Party is not ironclad anymore. We've established this. Everything from the Jack Smith testimony to the Epstein Files cover-up, which is still ongoing, is another opportunity to impeach Trump. All they need is the correct amount of votes. Trump and the Republicans overwhelmingly lose their extremely thin majority at the midterms, which they are predicted to do. The rest of Trump's term will be him desperately trying to dodge impeachment. Meanwhile, the opposition will have infinite ammunition to fire at this guy with regards to getting him impeached. He has done so many impeachment level things at this point. They got Al Capone on tax evasion. They'll get Trump on something. Even Trump is aware of that.
I just watched a video of ICE shooting a woman in the head in Minneapolis as she was trying to drive away from them. She didn't do anything to them. That's what they're doing. It's pure evil. Our government is run by a bunch of anti-American thugs. They're right-wing fascists. I don't support that. I don't think most Americans support that. This is just one example of the evil that they're bringing to our country. They're trying to destroy this place and just take it for every last bit they can. And they don't care about you. They don't care about your family. They just care about money and power.
World is suffering. The entire world is suffering because a small number of money-hoarding, megalomaniacal white men afraid of dying are struggling to cope and grapple with the reality that they are outnumbered and on their way to extinction. So they are playing God by misinterpreting and weaponizing religious texts in favor of Anglo-Saxon white supremacy that are upholding the white cis hetero patriarchal ethnocentrist ideology that these men are not made in the image of God. Rather, the image of God is likened to them, and they believe their role on this earth is to have dominion over all things natural in order to synthesize an unnatural reality at the expense of everybody who does not identify like them to satiate their inflated and fearful egos.